So we are back with another. We are back with more news, and it starts with an interesting bit of news because we don't often get this type of news from New Japan or Stardom. But from the Wrestling Observer newsletter, it is said that the reason why Naomi is not in the position to start with the Japanese-based company, it is because they being New Japan's parent company are being tasked with keeping spending down in the wrestling division. So maybe in a couple months it could be something that it could be something that changes, but right now it isn't necessarily something that it isn't necessarily something that you would see because of the fact that what's it called? Because of the fact that the company has to keep spending down. The reason why it's interesting is also because I didn't know Bushi Road also owned Stardom. So Bushi Road owns Stardom, New Japan, and Pro Wrestling Noah. That I gotta say props to them for basically keeping wrestling together in Japan from Bushi Road. But it's totally understandable as far as that's concerned. Um, Now we shift over to another bit of interesting news as Von Wagner, who I would say is very similar to Elias in the way of basically floundering down in NXT without direction, seems to be somebody that they may have their eyes on for a big push when he gets up to the main roster. And, basically, that somebody on the main roster seems to have a lot of eyes on him when it comes, or a lot of potential, I guess is the best way to put it, that they see a lot of potential in Von Wagner, and that maybe if he could put the full package together, then the company would be more than happy to basically give him that push. It's just that they're not sure if he can put the full package together. Also, I just want to point out, based on the first bit of news that I said, that does not mean that Trinity will be in. That doesn't mean that Trinity will be in Stardom or headed to Stardom or inevitably be in Stardom or whatever the case is. It just means that right now the reason why she is not being tasked with going to the company is because of budgetary constraints within the company. Simple as that. But now we shift over to Ring of Honor, as Ring of Honor is set to return to the Universal Studios. They are set to return to Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida, which has housed many wrestling companies over the years, including Ring of Honor. And I do believe that, it's very possible that Tony Khan has a solid relationship with those in that position as far as Universal Studios. But on May 7th and May 8th, I don't know if this is the next set of TV tapings or if it's just a set of TV tapings, but Ring of Honor will be returning to Universal Studios for that set of TV tapings on May 7th and May 8th in Universal Studios. Now we move to the bigger. I guess now is the best time to move to the bigger news, and that is that apparently I was right. Where I think it was a couple of days ago, or maybe earlier this week, where I said it seemed like Warner Brothers Discovery may have wanted Punk back for the new AEW show, AEW Collision, And that was actually confirmed with a recent report from the Wrestling Observer, or basically acknowledged, I should say. Maybe not confirmed, because I don't want to put words in Dave Meltzer's mouth. It was acknowledged in that in the most recent it was acknowledged in the most recent Wrestling Observer, where Dave basically pointed out, not insinuated, pointed out that it is possible. He did not say one way or the other. He said it was possible that Warner Brothers Discovery is the reason why Punk is back in AEW. I think it is 100% something that helped AEW as far as getting Punk back and getting the new show, or bringing Punk back to secure the new show. It makes sense from a business standpoint. It also makes sense from a, just a standpoint of people want to see CM Punk, so you bring him back and, you build the new show around him. I mean, I think that's what some people would have figured with, I think that's what some people would have figured with Rampage, when Rampage debuted, that, or, when Punk debuted on Rampage, that you would have had CM Punk, you would have had Rampage built around Punk. But for the people that think, with the brand split, because the brand split seems inevitable, as far as AEW is concerned, if the brand split seems inevitable, that for the people that think that, oh, well, what happens to this person, what happens to that person, if AEW goes the route of WWE and brings in more titles, it will dilute the championships that they already have. They don't need more championships, and they could easily just have the champions fluctuate between the brands. Because that would mean bringing in a new set of tag team titles. That would mean bringing in another women's championship, another mid-card title, another world title, this, that, and the other thing. And I would say, well, for lack of a better word, technically, you could have the TNT champion on one show, the women's champion on another. The world champion the world tag team champions fluctuate between the two shows. Simple as that. Simple as that. Because they're both 2-hour shows. You're gonna need to have a roster on Collision, and you could have the women go to Collision and just focus on the other side on Dynamite. But for the people that think that, oh, well, MJF should be on one show because you don't want to dilute MJF. MJF is the world champion. The world champion should be on both brands because there should be one world champion, not two. I will never agree with the idea that there should be 2 world titles. There should be one world champion. That's it. Because otherwise it's not a world title, it's a title. Because how do you claim, oh, you're the best if there's 2 world champions? No, you can't claim you're the best because the world champion should float between the brands. And if the brand split is coming about, then, you know what I mean? Then it's something that they should consider of MJF should be on both brands, because also MJF doesn't appear on Dynamite every week. So he could appear on one show one week and then 2 weeks from then appear on the other show. Or he appears when he's needed. Simple as that. He appears when he's needed. He's like Roman Reigns. He appears when he's needed. But if you want to keep him on pace with Roman Reigns, then the fact of the matter is, what you need to do is keep him special, keep him as the only world champion, and that's it. If you're doing a brand split, you don't need to add more titles. That's all I gotta say. And actually, I will take that back. I will take that back. The Trios division could be on one show, the TNT Championship could be on the other, and the women's, the tag team, and the world title could fluctuate between the brands. The women's title could fluctuate because it's a women's world title. The tag team titles because it's a world title. I mean, I know the Trios, but it's like the Cruiserweight and the women's division in WWE during the original brand split. You have a reason to watch one show, a reason to watch the other, and if you fluctuate the Trios title between both brands, it will dilute the Trios title because you don't have, it's like WWE with the tag team division, they don't have the desire to invest in the tag team division. So don't you know, so do what that. So what they're doing is right, having one set of tag team championships, because they clearly don't want to invest in the tag team division. So AEW should follow that landscape of WWE's way of doing it: one title, one title, one title, one title, and then two titles that are brand exclusive. You know, one on one brand, one on the other, and then the rest float between the brands. That's all I gotta say. With that being said, though, I could talk about this for hours on end, but we got more news to get to, so I will see you in the next video.